Well, I don't know about you, but I am sick of hearing about Prince Andrew in this fucking sex ring with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm much more interested in why we've not seen Dmitry Bivol or Artur Beterbiev in the ring for a year now. There is no talk of them coming back. What the hell is going on? We've not heard a thing from Artur. I don't know what's going on there. I know he's 41, but he clearly still does have a lot left. There's so much money to be made. There's some fantastic matchups. And although he has had some hard fights against Anthony Yard and early on against Callum Johnson, he doesn't have that many miles on the clock. I know he had a long amateur career, but he's still got so much more he could do in the sport. And the fights with Dmitry were fantastic. They were chess matches. They were high-level, top-class boxing matchups, but they weren't fights that take that much off you. And really, Beterbiev didn't take much damage at all. It was more him getting outboxed. I thought Bivol won both fights. I had the first fight 7-5 to Bivol, and the rematch I thought he won 8-4. But Artur was super competitive in both, and he took the loss like a man in the rematch. I think Dmitry Bivol's wife was more upset than him, but that was his first loss. No shame at all in that. As for Dmitry, I mean, he's 35. I know he had a back injury, and he had surgery last year, but still, it's a year on now. Come on, guys. And it's so annoying because they're brilliant to watch. And although they probably both are on the slide, I mean, definitely Artur, and there's a good argument that Dmitry, after a year out, might not be the same now, but I still think he is clearly the number one light heavyweight in the world. You've obviously got David Benavidez there now. Now, one of the best fights to be made in boxing that doesn't really get spoke about. Very similar to Wardley Dubois. I always wanted to see Wardley Dubois, but for some reason, people just didn't talk about that. Thankfully, it's been made now. But if you're ever struggling to get a stiffy after a few beers and maybe a couple of packets of Pablo, just think about Artur Beterbiev against David Benavidez. My God. That would go off big time. Somebody would get brutally knocked out, and it would be a high-level war where I could see either man winning. I think Benavidez now probably beats Beterbiev, but my God, if Beterbiev clocks Benavidez, it is good night Mexico. As for Dmitry, I mean, he's got mandatories coming out his arse. He's got Callum Smith, who's the WBO interim champion. He's fighting David Morrell next. Fantastic fight, total 50-50 in Liverpool. David Morrell will probably get robbed in the ring and out the ring. So I fancy Callum Smith to win that one or certainly get the decision. And then that would be a fantastic fight. I think Callum Smith is on a great run of form. He obviously had a fight of the year contender against Joshua Buatsi on the undercard of Beterbiev Bivol too. So that's a great fight. You've also got Albert Ramirez, who is 22-0 with 19 wins coming via knockout, Venezuelan southpaw. So I don't think many people are going to be in a massive rush to fight him, but that'd be a great fight there. He's the WBA interim champion. So we're at the stage now where Dmitry needs to fight. He was talking a few weeks ago about apparently coming back in May, but we've heard nothing since then. And even that wasn't concrete. That was just a rumor and something he'd like to do. But until there's proper news, it is just really a case of we're waiting for these guys to do something. I mean, Beterbiev, I wouldn't be surprised if he retired, and you couldn't blame him. Again, I still think he has a lot to give, but if he decided to hang up his gloves in his early 40s, no shame at all in that. And what a brilliant two fights they were. It's just a tragedy we never got a third. It was so obvious it's 1-1, and they could have done the third by now, but they haven't. And I think a massive factor in that is the fact that Turkey is clearly not in bed with Eddie Hearn anymore. And that was a fantastic year for boxing 2024. And early on in 2025, it was a really good start. But then Turkey obviously got involved with Dana and started doing less with Frank and Eddie. And lo and behold, we never got to see the third fight. So what does that tell you? And then you've also got Michael Eifert, who's the IBF mandatory, which, to be honest, I don't think anybody's interested in. I think even Michael would admit that the people aren't going to be calling for that one. But unfortunately, when you become undisputed, these things happen. David Benavidez is now the WBC champion, but the other three belts, Dmitry has. But of course, you've got all these other stupid regular belts and interim belts, and it just gets so confusing. And there is also the option of Bivol moving up to cruiserweight. He has mentioned it before, and it would be mad if he fought Jaya Pataya. Obviously, he'd have to sign with Zuffa Boxing now, but that could be an option as well. I think he's big enough. I think he's good enough. It would be a shame if size beat Bivol because he's been so good at light heavyweight, and I don't think he needs to move up. But maybe if Benavidez moves up, he's talking about fighting Gilberto Ramirez in May. Again, that's not signed. So yeah, hopefully we get some news on both of them soon, because I do feel as if the pair of them have become the forgotten men, and they were so high this time last year. So fingers crossed. we both see them in the ring again. If Bivol wants to retire and Beterbiev, good luck to them, but I certainly think Dmitry still has a lot more he can do in boxing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below anyway, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy all the boxing, and I will see you all on the next one.